So maybe for the beginning, we'll tell something about the program of today's afternoon. I'm very glad that you came to our conference. In the morning, there was presentations of our students from master degree, and I was very proud about the level of information and the level of knowledge of our students. So what is for us very important to know your style of thinking and what you are interested in, and I see that you are all over the world, so we can now meet very internationally. And for beginning, I would like to introduce your games once more by Felipe. And I just repeat that we'll have two sessions. First session will be three games from replay students, Erasmus Mundus in games. Aria Radha, can you hear us? Aria Radha.
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect, we can hear you too very well. We will present the game around the world from last year. Then Maya Myras.
Yep, I'm here. I can hear you.
Yeah, fantastic. With the game Bonita. Akaba Bagiro.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Fantastic. With game Discrete Time. So now, please, Felipe, try to introduce these three projects and tell us something about conditions, about ideas, and about how are you thinking about game design in this special project that has to be from three countries at least, from Portugal, from Belgium, and Finland.
Okay, thank you very much once again to having us. The morning session was lovely. At the end of the day, we'll do the wrap up. But just to give a big thanks to our amazing students from Replay Master Program. Replay is a European game design masters that is organized by Wisconsin Lucas School of Arts in Belgium, where the students are staying in this semester. Next semester, they will move to Aalto University, and on the fourth semester, they will be split around the three universities to develop a final project that could be a game, individual project, an artistic project, could be also a thesis or a group project. So, which means that I invite them to present some of the works they developed on the first semester. Probably they will say more about that. I don't want to be spoiled here, and I want to give the floor to them. But basically, we challenge them to create some games with different technologies or different props as you're going to see it. And I think it'd be very interesting based on the first very high-tech presentations from this morning. No, we're going to enter into a different level, more analog and yeah, also digital products. So yes, thank you once again, and I think we can pass the floor to the students, and they
Fantastic.
can introduce individual themselves. Thank you.
Fantastic. Once
Okay.
more, I want to share that I'm very glad about our meeting, and technically it works. In the morning we had a problem with a 360 camera for sharing on internet, but in chat I gave you next link that is not 360, it's normal HD. So in chat you can find a link for YouTube streaming, and probably there will be recording there too. So your presentations will be recorded, and later it will be on our web page, just to know that you have come with this. So please, the first project, I want to give the word to Arya Araka, and please try to introduce you and introduce your team if you have some competitors, and the game around the world that was made in the last year.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arya Raka, and I am here with my teammate Soham as well, and also Leandra, not in the call. I guess we can just start showcasing some.
Yeah,
Can you screen
thanks,
share?
Arya. Yeah, I'll showcase, I'll share the slides. Give me a heads up if the presentation is visible.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great. So it's
hi everyone, I am Soham and you have met my teammate Arya. We are students of Replay, the Erasmus Mundus Masters in Game Design. So this game around the world that we are going to present was made last semester at Lusitania University in Lisbon. And without further ado, I'd like to show you the trailer for our game. So yeah, that was the that was the game. So what's this game about? Well, around the world, in this game, you are basically controlling an actual globe. So you see this globe over here. This is the globe that you are using as a controller, and your objective is to find out locations displayed on the screen in real life on the Earth. So, what's the story of this game? How did this game idea come, or where did this start? We had a course in our first semester called the Experimental Play Lab. For this course, every week or every 2 weeks, we were given a theme based on which we were required to make a game. So, one of these themes for 1 week was alternative controllers. We are all used to playing games on normal Xbox or PlayStation controllers, or even on the Nintendo ones, or even a simple good and old mouse and keyboard. But what if we could use everyday objects that we see around us as controllers? So for this course, we were taken to the Feira de Ladra, or the Thieves Market, as it's called in Portuguese. It's held in Lisbon on every Tuesday and Saturday, and it's a very iconic market where merchants come, or everyday people come to show off their trinkets and objects for sale. So we were given the task as a class to find out very interesting objects and see if we could design a game around them. So while looking around the market for an hour or two, we found this very interesting globe from the 1970s. It was manufactured in the 1970s. And what's really interesting about this globe was that there were two knobs on this, two knobs which could be rotated. And there was a wire sticking out from it, which was, well, interesting, apart from it being a regular globe. So what was inside the globe was even more interesting, was the fact that these knobs, the one horizontal and the one vertical, they were attached to a light bulb which was inside the globe. And if you plugged in this wire into a socket, that light bulb would glow on, and that would like emit a very natural light, and basically you could turn the light around and point it to different places on the globe itself, which was really cool. So why not make a game around this? This idea came to our minds, and me and my teammates were decided to have this kind of a geolocation-based quiz, and that's how the idea of Around the World started.
It's working.
Yeah, you can see our enthusiasm in this video. But I will wait. Yes. I will let Arya explain how this technology is working in the game.
So, I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, right.
The process for this, when we are looking at the technology around it, we also look at the design in the context of the technology itself. And what I mean by that is when we got the globe, we basically looked at what can we do with this? What actions can we do with the object itself? And obviously, the first answer was to rotate it. And because the globe already gives this light shining to the point where you point it, we thought, oh, what if we make a game like GeoGuessr where you place a point on a map, but we do it like a quiz, and then we have that idea already. We didn't stop there. We started breaking it down, designing, okay, but what kind of quiz it is, how can players like select, do they just rotate, do they do stuff, um, and based on the first initial design that we have, we basically know, okay, because the actions that we can do is to turn it and to rotate the globe, we want to be able to detect that technically. So we basically replace the light bulb inside the globe with a laser so that the point is more accurate. But the part that actually um, detects the rotation is by adding encoders and potentiometers inside the globe itself, which I actually have right beside me. Um, there's a potentiometer and encoders attached to the knobs at the bottom itself, which rotates the laser, which reads the latitude, longitude, which then we can just say, oh, okay, now you're pointing to Germany or wherever, for example. And next slide, one. After we actually got the globe working, then we are looking at the design itself. Um, we don't only look at the game design, we also look at the aesthetics. Our great artist, Robin, made all of these assets by himself, and it's really amazing. But we know we wanted to make a very simple game, very simple, very stylistic quiz, basically. So we decided, okay, let's make a quiz about guessing places based on something. So we basically made this really quick quiz about food, people, places, and basically it asks, hey, where's this food from? And you're supposed to point it on the globe, and you answer it, and that's basically the game. We iterated more on the globe itself rather than the game because the game is quite straightforward, but we did put some changes to it that I will show you later. Next slide. Also, actually, go back. That the face that you see on the bottom right there, that is our teacher for the course, and it's just funny to put him there. So that's that, a way to honor him as well. So next slide. And there are a few challenges that we went through, and surprisingly, it's not just technical. While there are technical difficulties, like for example, the rotary itself isn't accurate. The better rotary is actually very, very expensive. So we try to go around it by design. So the problem that it gives is that after rotating the globe multiple times, it becomes inaccurate because the rotation itself is drifting in the sense like a joystick drifting. So there is a need for us to like have the player reset the globe every time, but then in a design, it doesn't feel great for the player to have to do stuff. So if you can look at the globe, there's this marker that we call the null point, and basically we kind of make it a mechanic where every time you answer, you have to like point it back to the null point again, and that is basically how we went through that technical challenge by design. And I suppose next up we can actually show you what the result looks like. I'm going to have the game open and play like a quick round, and I will have my colleague actually control the camera a bit. Um, let's- oh, here it is. Okay. It's here. So,
Lost connection.
sorry. Let me see. There it's okay, perfect. See myself. I hope you guys can see it as well.
Yep.
And then there's gonna be a timer, and then you pick.
T'entends?
Oops.
Ah! Oh, smart.
Put down. Oh, oh. And then push it down. And then space again. And randomly. Example. And that's basically the game. So and I rest of this, Soham, we can go back to your presentation and talk about our experience with Lisbon Games Week.
Yeah, so once we had finished the game, we had play tested it in our class. But the biggest opportunity to showcase that game came during Lisbon Games Week, which was held during late November, the end of November. And it was also a fascinating experience for us because we saw a huge participation from members, like from people across all age groups. And surprisingly, well, not so surprisingly, the people who enjoyed it the most were children. Like I could see children coming around every time, like these group of children on the top right, I could see them like they would come around and want to go at the game again. They would like want to try play the game again and see if they can beat their score. And that was really fascinating for us, like seeing children enjoy the game so much. But we also got feedback from like people who were in the industry who came to visit. There were level designers, game designers, as well as there were people who were working in different sectors. But Lisbon Games Week was also it was an amazing experience for us to showcase the game. We are also thought of we also think of showcasing this game in other game conferences like Amaze or alternate controller festivals. So we are looking forward to that as well. So thank you for looking at our game around the world. If you have any questions, please.
Yes, thank you very much for your presentation. We have prepared some questions. And the first question will put Ondřej Formánek. We have microphone, so No, 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 no,
So,
no,
yeah.
no. So I hope that you will hear the question well.
Hello, thank you for the presentation. Um, uh, I maybe I have a question about like uh, the mechanical aspects versus the electrical ones. Uh, what do you think was the bigger problem of those two? Like uh, software or hardware, manufacturing the mechanics, or uh, like creating the electronics?
I can answer that. So basically, when we're thinking of the obstacle being software or hardware, I think it's mostly on the hardware. We didn't have much issues with the software because fortunately, our professor is really, really good at what he's doing and he guided us through the whole. But also, mostly the mechanical, as I mentioned in the obstacle earlier, is that the potentiometer and the rotary was not accurate enough. So rather than solving it in hardware, we just went around it with game design, basically. So that's that.
Yeah, also for while trying to think of where we are going to put the encoders of the potentiometer, that was also a challenge because we needed to drill the knobs that you saw in the first slide. And we needed to find a perfect spot to put those encoders. Otherwise, the entire mechanism that already existed in the globe would have been damaged. So I'd say the hardware was the most challenging of the two.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next question will put Martin Baransko.
Yeah, hi. I really like the idea of using a different controller, but I would say the thing that gets me most into the game is some kind of a story. So my question is if you were thinking into putting some narrative into the game, or was it from the beginning like only educational and quiz like?
As for a narrative, well, we could put like some kind of story into it, but because of the nature of the design of the game itself, it's mostly a puzzle. It's mostly a quiz game. We wanted to focus more on the quizzing aspect itself rather than the narrative. So while yes, we can add more narrative, we mostly shifted our focus somewhere else. But yeah, we can.
Thank you.
Yes. The next
Does that
question.
answer your question?
Next question, Lucia Foskova. Is she is here?
Hi, so it was really cool, but I want to ask whether you also had some other objects you stacked before you actually chose the globe, or if you were to do it again, what objects, like what would you choose if you could do it again and you couldn't do the globe?
Well, while searching around the market, I was talking to Arya, and we also found a doorknob, which we were thinking of maybe using as a lock picking game, or maybe attaching it to an actual door and maybe having a screen on it, and then you're like opening doors, or maybe a game about opening doors. But yeah, we were like rummaging through a lot of objects like this, like a camera, maybe for example, or like a boat, a steering wheel of a boat, maybe. But yeah, I think the globe, for us personally, the globe is always a fascinating object because even without a game, if you see like children actually interacting with it, they try to find locations, they try to find, okay, what's there, what's over there. So there's always this innate childlike wonder of finding stuff on the globe or exploring. And I think that aspects really lends to the globes as an object's specialty. So I think it really worked when we were making a game on that because it really grasped that concept well when we were presenting it through our game.
Yes, thank you. And the last question will put Dalibor
up. In your experience, what are the advantages of the conventional methods of player input like typing, for example, as opposed to a traditional mouse and keyboard or a controller?
Could you hear that?
Yeah, can you please repeat the question again? Sorry.
Yeah, what are the
Daj to věci Gustav.
what are the advantages of like unconventional player input methods, or like your mode, for example, instead of like a traditional mouse and keyboard or a controller?
So this is also something that we came across when we are making the game, because before we have the globe input itself, we actually did use a keyboard or like input the country by manually. But when we switched to the globe, we realized that just the value of playfulness that you can get from looking around the globe and rotating it and being curious about, oh, is it here? Is it that? There's that extra dimensions that you cannot just find through a mouse. Because let's say if we do make the game with a mouse, I suppose design could be that you are like rotating a globe with your mouse. That that you don't get the same physicality of actually touching a globe via just doing the mouse. So I suppose that's our answer. That answers.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Now we have the second game from Erasmus Mundus in games, and this presentation will start via MLS.
Yes, so hello everyone. I will proceed to share my PowerPoint. I'm so sorry, I was logging into Microsoft Teams this morning, and my cracked Microsoft software did not like it. And all of my real software was in my dad's account, and I'm not running my dad's, so I'm managing to scramble everything together. But I will share my screen and hope that it will not collapse. But hello, okay, everyone. My name is Maya Milas. I'm from Croatia. I'm here with my beautiful colleague Jan from the Philippines. There were two more people that participated in this game, Raged and Alp, but here we are talking kind of on their behalf also about this project and where me and John will take this project going forward. So the project is called Bonita. It's an alternative controller game. And like the previous presentation, we found our victim in a pile of rubble at the flea market in Lisbon. And she got her name also from the flea market. As we were buying her, the man kind of very passionately kissed her goodbye and said, "Goodbye, my bonita." So the name kind of stuck. Before we get into the actual game, we wanted to cover the hardware behind it. So I will kind of leave John to speak about that behalf, and then we'll get into the game design and the project in general.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay, perfect. So we found this doll right there in the flea market, and we knew instantly that this is what we wanted. Basically, since the assignment was that we should make like some weird input from anything that we can find in the flea market. We saw this doll. It had like rotating hands, and said, "Oh, we can do so much with this." So we picked her up along with that little gadget over there. It's like a small quiz device, but we didn't end up using it. And then next slide, please. The first thing we did, since the owner did kiss her and the hair was filthy, we cleaned her up. We dismembered her everything. We removed the hands. We decapitated her head, and we cleaned everything basically before use. And then we tried to decide what we can do with this. The game design came after we decided the thing. So we started to like go into planning, see what other functions it has. So the doll has the head that can basically be angled, rotated like a regular head, and the hands can be rotated sideways, both of them. So while we were talking about them, the functions of the doll itself, Alf, one of our team members, suddenly blurted out, "What if she was drunk?" And that basically cemented the whole gameplay. We decided the gameplay based on the controls of her doing that, and you will control her as she's drunk, trying to go home along the street and not bump into anyone. So you hold her like this, like the doll is in front of you. You hold her like this. You guide her hands through the crowd, trying not to bump into anyone. And next slide, please. And to do that, we needed to install two potentiometers uh, in the hands and connect it into our Arduino Nano. So there were several challenges with that. Next slide, please. Namely, being one, attaching a potentiometer to the hand, to the arm base, is going to make the doll tilt backwards a little bit. So in order to mitigate that, we had to manually saw off this part of the potentiometer, the one that sticks out. We had to saw off both of them on both parts. And even then, it was still tilting. So we had to also create a base right here on through cardboard that Bonita can stand on. And that was basically the main challenge of everything, the design of the product itself, because the mechanics itself, the mechanism itself is very straightforward. It was two potentiometers that we needed to read the input from to control in the game. Like the entire structure of the doll is the main challenge that we basically encountered. And that's it. This took like basically a 2 week project. So the first week was focused on creating the mechanism of the controller. The second week being focused on the game itself. I'd like to give the floor back to Maya.
Microphone.
Sorry, I love Teams. This is the finished product, at least the product of the 2 weeks. So as you can see, these are some Lusofana students trying the game out. It's I don't know, it got a lot of attention. It was really fun. We were just proud that we managed to make something that was finished and kind of cohesive and also fun and also kind of very engaging, because it's not every day that you get to twist the hands of a doll and like drunkenly get her home from a night out drinking. We did open the actual game with a comic now, so we have been kind of reiterating even after we kind of finished it for classes. So there's a bit of story going on that she was drunk and now she's going home, and you have to kind of help her maneuver through that. We installed also a QR code on like the back of her neck. It's not visible in this photo, but it's there, and like anyone who basically finds it can also like scan the QR code, plug her in, and then try to play. Just a second, yes. So now is the question also like where are we going to go now? This is a very sped up video. I wanted it to be funny, but I don't know if it's funny or yeah, I don't know. Anyways, where should we go now? So because this was a 2 week project, we do plan on redoing the art as well as the sounds. I am a sound designer by nature, I guess, by profession. So we do plan on implementing FMod. And since we have taken her to a few events since her creation, since her birth, we have embraced this fact that she is chaos and incredibly silly. So we are going to kind of steer the game more into like an arcade experience where it's just an infinite scroller with like procedural levels and a leaderboard, which is something that we were like, yeah, you know what, implementing a leaderboard could have like made this experience entirely different. So if you want to come and try Bonita, we're gonna be at two events this summer. One of them being Tokyo Indies in Tokyo, and one of them being Donavarpa in Turin, in Italy. So yes, I think this is it. It's a very short presentation. We don't have it physically here, as I'm not physically home, but I just want to remind you that you're a game designer and that you shouldn't take yourself too seriously. And that, nothing, just a reminder that also you shouldn't be too afraid to make some silly projects after time and try something new. And yeah, I guess that's it on my end.
Yes, thank you for a very inspiring presentation. The first question will put Michal Kodak.
I find it very interesting. I like how you use that object. And so do you have some sort of a plan how you would like to develop the game further? I know that you showed some things you plan to work on, and if you have some sort of a schedule for that.
I mean, I will answer for the both of us. Our current schedule is classes and surviving our current lives, but we were kind of hoping to get a few weekends in. It's like not a huge project. It also doesn't require a lot of stuff. Also, the procedural code is already inside. We just have to kind of put it in. The sounds, like also implementing Fmod, it's not that bad. And also like, I mean, the gimmicks of how a silly Barbie game should sound like are already there. How it should look like is already there. They gave us all the content. All we have to do is kind of pull it and put it there without saying Barbie, but saying Bonita. I'm sorry, but it should be just a few weekends. We are not super structured or scheduled, but I mean, also like a lot of playtesting solves a lot of problems. So like unless you playtest this game a lot, you're not really gonna find a lot of answers. So that's why we're kind of bringing it everywhere and trying it out in different places. It's so funny when you get like very big professionals to play something so silly. It's always crazy. But yeah, I guess at least on my end, that's it. I don't know, does John have anything to add?
No, but like you were right. Most of the things that we wanted to add is actually already implemented in the game. But we had a lot of iterations going back when we were making the game. So most of the things that we wanted to add is just something we need to add back into it. So
Okay, Marian Ferko, can you switch camera?
Actually, I cannot switch the camera because I'm so ill and I think my icon represents me much more better than the present state. And actually, thank you for your great presentation. Maybe we want to have some inspiration for very strange game controllers. Maybe you should look a movie called Existence. It's nearly 25 years old movie, but they are really strange game controllers. And my question is, if you would have to do the project again with your experience, what would you do differently?
It's a good question. It's a good question. Did we think about this? Absolutely no, because we think we're the best.
no, we did. Okay, we did. Okay, so there were several ideas that we wanted to make in the doll, but they were too complicated for a 2 week project. So like one of them is a lobotomy simulator, where since the head was like the teacher actually like recommended that we shave off the wig part of the head and then just kind of use it as a cap and like put something inside that would like let us tinker into some sort of brain or whatever. Like that was a pretty cool idea, but it was a bit complicated to do, so we had to scrap it. And the other one was the hands. Like this was actually the first idea that I had picking up the Barbie from the flea market, but yeah, it will take a long time. But basically, the hands had this like little tiny fingers, and like 10 of them. So like instead of like using the rotation of the hand, what if we can like use those fingers as an input? So like when you press the finger like that, it's an input. And then we were talking about like what if you can play Elden Ring with a Barbie doll? That would be really. But then of course it was too complicated. We had to scrap it and basically just went with this. If we had a chance to rework on the project, maybe we can pursue some of those ideas. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the key takeaway is that like there's only so much you can do within 2 weeks, and then as life continues to happen, it's only a matter of like personal involvement that you're going to dedicate into it even more. For example, we also had an idea of adding a speaker in the back of the Barbie doll, so that she kind of like it's like oh hey whenever she
Like
bumps
becomes
into
a TV
people, but
console.
also like I mean 2 people and like too many ideas, 2 weeks. It's yeah, but it gave us a lot of confidence. Like start small with this stuff.
Okay, last question will put Elena Budoshova.
Okay, hello. So I know you mentioned your game has a backstory of drunk woman, but have you thought about implementing the story into gameplay more, or how would you do it?
I think that.
No, mine was very funny. Like she sobers up. No, I'm joking. But we don't know. We tried by I mean John drew some beautiful comics that we put like before and like we currently have this narrative where like you start the game. I wish I put it in the presentation. Now I'm kind of regretting it, but never mind. You go, there's a beautiful comic of her being like, oh I need to get home. She gets home and then she like pukes in a toilet. That's our that's our current narrative.
But also, in when you're in the game, perhaps like we wanted to implement this, but like when she bumps into someone, she like says some drunk voice lines like "ow" or like something like that. But like in general, just people talking to her while she's going through them. That's also something we can do to add narrative to it. But yeah.
We're thinking. No, but that's so true. Like having a drunk walk night home can be very narrative full. John, I think that's a good takeaway. We should think about this.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you for very inspiring view that is new for our school. So it will be inspiring for our students for future. And thank you. Now there will be the third game from this play project, Erasmus Mundus in games, and the representative is Akababa Bakhiro. So please
So, can you hear
tell us.
me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay, I will share my. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your presentation.
I don't know like if I left enough time on, but I will try to be very quick.
We don't hear you
My name
well.
is. You cannot hear me well.
Now it is better. Yes, okay.
Okay. I will try to be fast. I guess that there's not like enough time. Like, my name is Arababa, and I will represent like the game that I created in Lusatna, Portugal, like during the game jam. I will tell who I am. Like, I study computer science, but like almost these 7 years, I also start my professional career in contemporary art. So then I decided how I can combine like computer science and contemporary art together to create a video game. So that's why right now I'm studying in master degree in the place. What is this quiet game? Like why I choose this project? This is the this quiet game. This quiet time is game exploring the time concept. What does it mean time and how this time concept in our brain is affecting our personal space, behavior and stuff. Before talking about the game, I will want to show the trailer, and I guess
Ja,
it
weet
will
niet dat
be
je
more
dat ook
easy
nog.
to talk about it.
Please, we can see also your display. So maybe if you can shut these windows on your sharing.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah, ja už stresujem, že to som ja.
Aha.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so we can see it now.
But, oh, okay. Now I guess that is fixed. Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
it's okay.
Okay.
To access your time space, press 2. Enjoy your time space.
Clock tower looms. Its hands race high. A shadow on a horizon whispers in the sky. Be quick.
Or is it just fear?
Okay. What is the game? Why I choose to present this game? In general, last semester when my master studying, I created almost 6, 7 different projects. But this project I created in game jam. And I think that in general, I don't like game jam to be in stress and creating everything in very short time. But I saw that game jam actually taught me a lot of things that I can use this knowledge in my real project, even in my real life. That I want to share with you what I learned from the game jam. So this game. This game, during that game jam, our goal is the main thing is we have to use the old phone, and we have to play some game that related that like the phone. Like for me, there was always have a question that how I can express myself as an artist when I'm creating the game. Because there's this huge problem for me, because I'm coming from art background, because they have art and design is really different. They have similarity, but they have a big difference. What is the difference? Because when you're a game designer, when you are making a design, you always think about the people behavior, the players experience and stuff. But when you are artist, the artist wants the art to express the human expression. As an artist, I don't care what people will thought about my artwork, because this is just my expression of my feeling. So the time was very short. That's why I didn't think about any game and anything. The first I started to write just the poems. So I wrote a poem about the time. What does it mean time for me? How I understand the time, and how my culture in the month and the people was thinking about the time. How what's the difference in the city, in the mountain and stuff we was in Obidos, in Portugal. We was working on this game. There was a phone. I wrote a poem, then I made a lot of sketches how I can integrate these poems to the game. Then I decided maybe I can use the phone. That the phone is calling you and telling the poem to you, and also sometimes you can call the like you can call and make some interaction. In here, there was a, like there was a, like the interaction that I created for me like the poems is like the memories like how the society taught us like for example when we are a child the society taught us like you have to be eat you have to be eat more like be strong and we always try to be grown up like in here as you see like I created the environment that have a lot of ices each eyes okay. Each eye is representing some memory. Like when you're jumping to the eye, the phone is calling you, and you can take the phone and listen to the poem. From there was a, when I started this project, there was a like feedback that you cannot play this game like all the environment and stuff. This is too much for 2 days. But this kind of feedback always makes me down, like because you think that you cannot do this, but then I thought that this is just 2 days. If I will fail, who cares? Like it's just experience. So that's why I started to play it. And what you see in here, like all the models, the visual effects, animations, I create everything just 2 days. 2 days. I use the Blender to create these models, these animations, like and also, like there was a thing for me, like while you are progressing in the game, I played on only just one level, and I for me, like the most important thing is to changing the color and weather. So that's why, like this was a big challenge. Some of the like colleagues told me that like don't do this because it's very short time, but actually, I found a very easy solution to make it. Like I just changed the color and I added some visual effects. Like it give the feeling how an emotion is changing while. So actually, they have like this game have like in my tutorial page. While you can play it, it will be more easy to understand because this is very artistic game to explain it for me. Like it's really hard. What I learned during this game jam, so I learned that time there was a three important aspects. The first is time management because if you have a talent, skills and you're talented and stuff like it's not important. It's not like important. Most important thing is it how you can manage the time and how I can and keep the motivation how I'm doing this. I that moment I keep I kept my sleep, so I sleep well because when you're not sleeping, you can get tired and you can not keep your motivation. And another thing for me was like to react to the feedback because when you are creating something with different approach, there was always like something telling you that you cannot do this, you can have limited time and stuff. I guess that the we have part of the time. If you have a question, maybe I can answer. Like, because it's also this circular.
Okay, thank you very much. We have prepared three questions for you. So the first question will put Samos Lachina. Where is microphone?
Hi, so what game engine did you use to make this game?
Okay, I use the Unity game engine. The phone is interaction is very simple. The phone, inside the phone they have Arduino, and the button is just Arduino control, like buttons, like controlling, when they have features like in the phone, and I use Arduino and also Unity. And for the modeling, I use the Blender and the Unity VTX.
Yes, next question, Dominika Wiśniewska.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. Um, I wanted to ask what was possibly the biggest challenge in this project?
For me, like the biggest challenge was like I created some idea, I made a sketches, but the people told me that you cannot do this in just 2 days. That's why like I spend a lot of time thinking that do I have to do this or not? Like this was pushing me down, like I cannot do this, and I thought that like it's just a like game jam. Like if I could fail, I start to say that like for me like this was one biggest challenge. Like
Yes, and last question, Vanessa Tiskova.
Thank you for the presentation once again. Maybe I'll ask which part did you enjoy the most, or like Dominika already said, which you didn't. But maybe also another question: if you thought about using AI, or if you used it at some point of the project.
the first question was which part I enjoyed most.
Yes.
Okay. During the game jam, I enjoyed like the process to find the balance between my artistic feeling, writing poem, and also like creating the game design from that. Uh, so about the AI, usually I try to use the AI for like for the experimental stuff, like but in general, like in my this kind of project, I don't like to use AI. Because even my sketches I like to do by myself, but still I'm trying to use the AI, but for me it's a challenge, as an artist it's very challenging like to use the AI.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, and we will continue with the next group of students of Lusofona in Portugal. I would like to ask once more Felipe to introduce this next group of students, if you are here, and then we will continue with next, I don't know, 3 or how much project we will have?
Yes, thank you. I don't know if you can, switch the noisy sound. So our dear students now in Lusofna are in the second room. It seems like some of them they are repeating the presentation from last year. Um, not repeating the presentation, repeating a presentation to this conference. So we're gonna have 3 projects to present it from different domains. Some of them are game jam related, also we know it, some similarities, but now without alternative controller games, just digital games that those students develop within the curricular context. So uh, I give the floor to Afonso and Co. And enjoy.
Yes.
Hopefully, the setup to
Some problem with sound, we cannot hear you well. You are something with the sound connection.
Is it better?
Yes, much better, yes. I hope.
Okay. So have to get the microphone installed. So first, thanks for respecting a little bit of our colleagues' introductions. Thank you so much for having us again, implicitly. Considering that last year we we lost connection for about like 10 minutes, we hope to have made the work so that doesn't happen again. But yeah, so we'll be presenting some projects
three in specific. One is going to be a project developed within the context of the course as an academic experience per se. That, that being a project that was developed with the intent of being evaluated. With and the other two being developed in different contexts, some of them in a more study-based or study context, also academic, but really different setting. And with the last one being more of an extracurricular collection of projects slash philosophy that we'd like to share with you. So, with no further ado, we'll be introducing you by sharing my screen. It's happening. Oh god, it's in the. I think. Right. So this is the trailer for that project. It's called. I mean, you'll see how it's called. So yeah, we'll be showing this. Hopefully, it went just fine. Okay. So what you just saw was Go Fish Girl. I gotta say it confidentially, otherwise it doesn't work. It was developed by me, Gabriela Branco, which is also in the call. She can be with us ramping up even more space over here. But yeah, she's already suffering in there. Julie Foster and Mariana Martins. So this was the project that I said that was developed within the academic context. It was for one of our courses, which is called in Portuguese Development of Digitais, but in English Development of Digital Things, basically. And it's funny to understand. Giving way to Mariana.
This girl is a single player first person escape room, and the intent behind it is having a retro look like by CSF games, and also having these absurd, almost like bizarre humor and appeal to people, and also it's okay. So, but what happens?
We can catch just every second word.
Struggling.
We can catch every second word something. I don't know. It's possible to do something better with transmission. I don't know. Maybe this problem with internet.
Maybe if you try to turn off the video.
Mariana, try to put your phone, the microphone was close to you.
Oh,
sorry.
And for moving, maybe we can try to switch off camera and let the share just display. Maybe it will help.
Sorry.
So as I was saying, Ghost Girl is a single player first-person escape room, and the plot is a young woman is traveling through rural Texas, but the only place where she can go relieve herself to pee is a gas station. However, to pass to finally have to go to be able to go to the bathroom, she has to go through many trials, which may include having to uh, talk with the demon and using like to break open a door. Some of the puzzles, um, they do have logic.
Sorry, Professor Ledway. Can you switch off the sound from the local room in Bratislava?
Yes, we can try.
Because it's interfering a lot with the.
Okay, we will turn it off.
Sorry, we are hearing a lot of noise, inside noise.
Okay.
And now phones
Okay.
went.
Now our microphone is
Yeah,
switched
should
off.
be fine now, right?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, so maybe we'll introduce the puzzles again really quickly, just to save some time because of the noise. Um, yeah, passing it to Mariana again.
Hello. As you can see here on the top right, we have many different cottages, and it's located in a single room with some tiny appendices. The game has 6 puzzles, and it has like um, um, progressively bigger curve of difficulty.
So as Mariana was saying, we have many puzzles and they can vary. Some of them are as simple as just picking up little tin cans and depositing in exchange for change, I guess, so that you can buy a UV light that will reveal us many more secrets. And it's at this point in the game that we try to ramp up a little bit in difficulty, but at the same time turn up the madness meter a little bit higher because it's around this time in the game that we find the Necronomicon and then some summoning shock lost amid some really crazy posters and a radio that is playing some weird tunes. But yeah, in the end we can use this to summon a literal toilet demon so that we can negotiate and bargain within the secret codes, the secret inscriptions to access the background essentially, because that's our ultimate goal, just to go piss. But yeah, we ended up doing a little frozen treat for him just to alleviate a little bit from the hellish hot temperatures that he's suffering from. And rinse and repeat, we end up busting down the door with somebody's frozen tibia. Nothing too special. Well, talking about the audiovisual department, as Mariana already said in the beginning, we are aiming for this PSX aesthetic that aims to invoke some type of retro nostalgia, although fake, because we're not using actual tessellation techniques per se, or even using some type of engine or downgrading our engine to the point of what would be used back in the day. But yeah, talking about audiovisuals, we have that heteroaesthetic with the little trembling triangles per se, tessellation. We also have a more strong core when it comes to color palette and how it relates to the melodic station, contrasting against the vibey and electric posters, for example, or products that you can find on the shelves with these sometimes to sell, but always vibrant colors that also invoke these 90s nostalgia eccentricities per se. But yeah, we aimed by basically making these two aspects of design together to create some type of contrast in the environment itself. See a little bit in these screenshots. Um, I mean, we have the vibrancy of slushes, the vibrancy of thrown products that are not in their supposed place. We have the UV light itself is a type of contrast because in many ways being in the dark and having this bright green pop up is already enough, as well as I guess design mechanism to guide the player somehow within this small yet chaotic gas station. But yeah, we have all sorts of things happening with Fire Tornado while invoking the demon, secret clues, you name it. We have prepared a little gameplay part, but I think we're kind of ending up our time. So, any questions that you want to pose to us? We'll be here to answer them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Our question will put to Nazi, Nazi.
Okay. Well, good job, guys. The game looks amazing. Well, my question is about the shader. Is it some sort of custom shader? And did you use some post-process shaders to develop the look? And if so, why did you settle for this stylization?
Okay, so I guess it's easier to start from the end of your question because I guess we had this really specific aesthetic in mind, which was all this retro PSX look once again. And the central thing about it, many times when we're talking about, I guess, uh, re, uh, reiterations of this style, and nowadays, especially in the indie scene, where we also took a lot of inspiration from indie horror games. I guess it ended up being a combination of a specific technique, which is just it's relevant to say that we developed this game in Unity. So in Unity, we can just basically project what the camera is seeing onto a texture and then stretch, per se, the texture and adjust it to our screen in order to get new resolutions, or in this case, to downgrade the resolution per se, which ends up basically compressing everything and giving this crunch really it ends up replicating the tessellation. I'm saying a lot of the word tessellation, but it's just be really clear. It's this like edges adjusting and trembling every single time that the camera moves. This used to happen for different reasons in older hardware, and it was mainly a hardware thing. But we end up settling for it with this specific technique of compressing. Um, Let me correct myself. Of this technique of stretching and then recompressing the texture that came from the canvas projection in order to get this tessellated, I guess, retro loyal look, I guess. So even though we didn't use shaders per se in all accuracy, we did use that, and we did use in all our texturing procedure a pixelating filter that also contributed to this grungy, more loyal look. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. The next question, Yeremieva, Vera. Vera Yeremieva is here. Yes.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. And I just wanted to ask two questions, like what engine did you use and how many people worked on this project?
Okay, so we used Unity, and basically it was four people that worked on here on this project. I think I'm sharing the presentation, but it's developed by me, Gabriel Branco, which is in the call as well, Julie Costa, and Mariana Martins. Again, is the girl that was talking. I guess
Hello.
that's Julie as well. Hello. So yeah, four people, Unity engine, and thank you so much, by the way.
Yeah, and the last question will put Shimon Kolesar.
Hi, so my question is, was any AI used in this project? Did you incorporate it in some way, or did you help yourself by taking advantage of the AI as a resource?
No, no, not at all. Actually, we only ended up using some borrowed assets from the. I don't even think it was Unity Store. I think it was SketchUp, and it's the clerk, the demon, and some of the outside stuff are the only assets that we ended up using. But no, no AI, no AI. Oh, I should also say, sorry to interrupt, but this was also developed with the intent of being featured in Zlot's game collection. And it's always fun to referencing it because not only this game, but many other students' games will be in there. And it's also fun. I guess we are all a little bit of nerds over here, so I think it never hurts to shameless, shamelessly advertise for my colleagues' games. As there's some really cool stuff in there. So this being the last question, I take the opportunity to also encourage you to explore new games, indie stuff, but also our colleagues' work, and that will be coming out in the Soft News collection for free, by the way. So don't worry about prices. And thank you so much.
We are almost friends and we are familiar after last year presentation. My question is, what happened with your games that you presented last time, 1 year ago? And if you saw our proceedings in which you had some part of these proceedings from last year conference.
Okay, so if I understood correctly, the question, the last part was a little bit. I'm also kind of sick, so if I don't understand something really well, sorry, but I will ask to reiterate again. But answering the first part, the majority of the games that we presented last year were in the context of GCC Games Creators Club, and when it comes in that regard, um, well, GCC still exists. Actually, it will be presented in a few minutes. But yeah, many of those games are created as pet projects, and some of them didn't go much farther than that. But other games ended up being a little bit more experimented on, and although they are not released, any of them, if I'm not mistaken, I guess they sometimes see a little bit of development or are reintroduced within our little group. And yeah, what was the second part of the question, please?
No. Next question was about our proceedings. If you saw your presentation in written form that was from last year conference.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah, so I understand that you didn't saw it. From last year we made proceedings, and from this year there will be two once more, and so we'll share these proceedings for you too in the future. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Okay, we'll be exchanging the microphone now. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, hi, I'm Julia. You already heard about me. I'm here to present about EPIQUI. EPIQUI is a European project that has many universities and other organizations. Here in Portugal, our university, Lusófona, together with the Óbidos municipality, is participating in this project from Horizon Europe. Basically, this project serves to use games as a form to spread awareness about cultural values, part of our culture, basically. So here in Orbis, we have had lots of fun. We have had 3 jams already, and the fourth one on the way. The teams vary a lot. First team in the first jam we went was about, as you can see here in this slide, was about literary culture in Orbis, all the libraries and bookshops there are. So that was a thing that inspired. That was the theme for the game jam that inspired us to make games about it. Second jam, we went to the Hobbit's Lagoon. You can see here some pictures of us. We explored the flora, the fauna, all the things surrounding the lagoon, and made games about those. The third jam that occurred last February was about the Carnation Revolution here in Portugal. I will talk about it a little bit more further because we'll show some games that were made. But it's always a lot of fun being in a gym, especially because we have free food. That's a very good thing. We are at Antonio's Buffet restaurant, as you can see, our favorite thing in the world. But now talking more about the game. Here is a game from the last jam.
booth catcher made by me, Maria Sky and Katina Shimens. They aren't here because they're having classes right now, but they did all the art part of the game, while me and Julia, I work on the programming. Basically, the theme for this jam, as I already said, was the Carnation Revolution. That was a revolution here in Portugal that ended the dictatorship of Salazar, the Estado Novo. But the team, for the team, we made a game that talked about the reunion that happened in Obidos. It was the pro-revolutionary reunion with all the Capitães de Abril, that are military personnel from the army, that were arranging things to do this coup to destroy the dictatorship. So in this, we are a guard that is at the door of the meeting. We were seeing the documents from the people coming in, checking if they can enter. And basically, there is one Bufu that is an informer of peace, that was the secret police, that is trying to get in. We have to find out who he is, and then at the end of the game, point out the person. So, I will now show another game that was made during this same jam with the same team. My colleague Danielle will talk about it. Sorry, I forgot one thing. There's supposed to be a gameplay video here, but it doesn't. Oh, it shows up. Okay, it's just a little thing showing the gameplay. Here you can see you talk to the people, and you can check their documents, like these ID cards from the army. Then you can check your files and talk to them to make sure they are saying the right things. But okay, I will not be spending much time on this. I will pass the mic to my friend.
Hello everyone. My name is Gabriela, and I'm going to talk about Puss in Books, which was the first game I developed. I developed with Antonio Rodrigues to the first Ogdos, the first Epic Week project, the game jam. Our idea with Puss in Books was to make a little kitty that enters a library and follows asleep on top of the books and dreams about the medieval Ogdos. The game, I'm sorry, I have to turn off the sound because it's really loud for me. So, at our stay with Ovidus, we had the great opportunity to visit a typography store where there were a lot of typewriters and carimbos with letters. So, my idea with Antonio was to make a little kitty that moves not with the default WASD controls, but instead you have to type the commands for him to move. So if you type right, it goes right. If you type stop, it stops. And that's it. Thank you.
This game was made for the first game jam, as Gabrielle said. I'm sorry, I switched things up. So now, yes, Danielle is going to present another game from the team 25th of April, the Carnation Revolution.
Hi everyone. So I'll be presenting this game, was also made for the Carnation Revolution. So this game was made by me. I did the art, some objects, some level design. Also, the girl just talked about Puss in Books. She did the characters, some cosmetics, amazing job, animations. Also, Antonio, that you're presenting after me.
Hello.
He's here. He programmed. We had other people that worked in the project. They aren't here. It was Smash Franco, also programming, and Thiago, sound design, and Lorena, that also did the art. So now I'll be talking about the actual game. So in this game, you will experience being in the skin of a Portuguese officer before 1974. You have to censor civilians for their lack of respect for the state rules. So in the end, you can become a good patriot. Our goal with this game was to highlight the absurdity and ridiculousness of the restrictions imposed on the people during the Portuguese dictatorship. By making the player take on the role of a field officer, blocking everything from heads, random conversations, topics, books. We aim to create an emotional connection and convey the message that these individuals were mistreated and stripped of their individuality. They were not allowed to hold opinions that oppose the government or express their suffering and dissatisfaction without suffering punishment. Even the media was heavily manipulated, controlling what people could read and limiting the information available to them. The game is a parody that starts off lighthearted and fun, with cute characters, with a protagonist that enforces these government rules and regulations. The playful visuals are intentionally misleading, distracting the player in the same way the government distracted the people at the time. Everything seems fine until you start paying attention and realizing the message is hidden in plain sight. In the end, no matter what the player does, the revolution will happen, freeing the people from this dictatorship. So I'll be showing a little bit gameplay. Hopefully it will play. Oh. Okay, it's showing. So this is the people that worked on it. You're passing through various days, since 21st to 25th. You'll be censoring people, having a journal that tells you what you have to do, as you have just seen. You have a big pencil that represents that censorship. So that's basically it. So now, wait a second, sorry. Okay, so do you have any questions?
Reiterating, the questions can be from any of the games, about the project, whatever you want to ask.
Yes, thank you. Hanna Gretakova.
Hi, so I didn't catch it. So how long was the game jam? Was it 2 days or more or less?
We here talk about three different game jams that happen. We only should games from the two of them. These game jams are usually 4 days long, 3, 4. We usually stay there for one day, more thinking about what we're going to do, seeing the village or presenting to us the topics that we're going to talk about and avoiding the games, the cultural topics. And then the last 3 days, the rest of the days are more for developing the games. In the last day, we all have to present our games. So it's not full 4 days, but it's more or less.
Cool, thank you.
Martin Belas.
Hi. Sorry. I would like to ask you about the last game. That how long did it took to make the game? Yes.
So the game took 3, 4 days that we participated in the game jam. Um, it was 6 people working on it, so we had a lot of work, a lot of hands to do the art and the programming, and a lot of skilled people. So we took around 3 days around about it. After that, we did some fixes, but not much, just in the final animations. So basically 3 days to make the game.
That's nice. And you've used Unity?
Yes, we use Unity.
Okay, okay. And do you like the engine?
Do we like the engine?
The Unity. If you like the Unity.
For a perspective, I didn't personally work on this game, but all our games that we do on this course are in Unity. It's what we learn, so it's what we are most used to. It's not the perfect engine, but it works. So yeah, we like it. I've never tried much of the other ones. I've tried Game Maker once and some of those things, but as we learn Unity here in our course, we're more used to it. So yeah, I would say yes.
That's a good start.
I have a question. Do you use anytime Unreal Engine, for example?
Unreal, I haven't tried, but I think no, none of us have tried. I've already seen some things about it, but trying to make a game on it, I've never. And also another thing, if I write about it, Unreal uses C++. Here in our classes, we usually learn everything in C Sharp, so it, I would like to try someday, but would be a bigger leap than for going for something like Godot or something like that.
Okay, next question, Luca Beta, the last one, last question.
Hello. Has any of you considered implementing 3D?
In this game, we didn't do any 3D, but we have already worked on a lot of 3D games, as you saw in the presentation before. I worked on that game too, and it is fully 3D. For these three examples are all 2D, but some of the games from this Epic Wii Jam are 3D. There's one that is Ovidus Watch that we didn't show here, but it's a 3D game. And there is other 3D games, but we ended up not showing any of those because in jams we usually go for 2D just because kind of easier between in quotation marks, but it facilitates a lot of the process.
Also, after these questions, we also presented another games that do indeed are made in 3D, so you will see in a little bit.
Yes, what I appreciate on this presentation that you as a young generation that you are interested in political themes. Yes, so it's very good that you understand history and try to react on this history. And we have the same issue in Slovakia, and because sometimes also students forgot to understand the history, so it happened that we have now in Slovakia autocratic government. Yes, so it is our problem. Okay, thank you very much for presentation, and please next presentation. One question more?
Yeah, I was just curious to ask how long are usually the games you make in the game jams, or the playtime of them?
These Epic Wii Game Jam?
For example.
The Epic Wii project, it was often started, if I remember correctly, last year, February. The first jam was February last year. But if you're asking how many times we participated in game jams in general, for me, it was like 2023 when I really started participating because I entered this course. I met my colleagues, my friends, and we started participating in a lot of game jams together, making games. It's always very fun.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. And we have the third presentation from students of Lusofona. So please try to introduce us.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so my name is Antonio, and I'm going to present the Game Creators Club. It's a monthly event we hold in our university. It has been happening long before I joined the course. So I joined the course 3 years ago, 2 years and a half ago, but it was happening already before that. So I'm going to talk about it. So what is the Game Creators Club? So in the Game Creators Club, we have a month to make something with a team or to show something that we've been working on during this month. So some examples of teams that we've worked on before. There's been cats, there's been trains, like this example here on the left, where I made this little game here with trains. It was my first attempt at procedural generation. So it was very interesting and very productive project. And there's also Secret Santa, like this one on the right, which I got a random team. It was squad, I think. So I made a fish that's going after some garlic. It's like a Portuguese joke. I don't know if you'll understand, but it's okay. Yeah. So now we're going to present some games that we've made in the Game Creator Squad. We'll present 5 games, so it's going to be a little quick each one. I'm going to start by presenting a video of each video. So okay, this is give me a sec. Okay. So this is the first game. Okay, so this game is called Bloodbath. It was a game. It's kind of inspired on the word on the word bloodbath, but with bubbles. So in this game, we decided to create our first antagonist of our group, I guess. It's called Balubi. He's just a picture of me in a weird angle, and it's been drawn by Gabriela Brandt, which she's already talked before for the Putin books. So what the game about? So you can play up to 8 players local, and it was made for the Global Game Jam. The team was Bubbles. So even though it was made for the Global Game Jam, our team for the month of Game Creators Club was literally like the Global Game Jam because our university hosts the Game Jam locally. So we ended up being like some sort of partnership. So the team for the Game Creators Club was also Bubbles. So maybe you might be wondering what the other so how do we make 8 players local, right? So basically, I had some bus controllers from when I was young, from the PlayStation 2, if you've ever played that. So I used that for part of the players, and 3 of them were on the keyboard, and the last one was on the controller. It was a bit messy every time we had 8 players, but it was super fun. One of the things I want to take away from each game here is that they were all made, not all of them, but most of them made with an intention of learning something new and always trying new stuff without any pressure to fail because it's not like university, right? Okay, so this is the first game. Our second game is Bubble. So I'm going to show you a video of it. Okay, so this game was also made by me and Gabriel Brandt. Uh, and in this game, Balubi is back, but now he's extra scary. So before, he just blow up the players, but now he's the main antagonist. And yeah, so it's a memory game where you're in a room with him, and yes, the team was lights out. So we wanted to make a game around the lights out team, obviously. So we made there's some lamps in the middle of the screen, and it's like a memory game. So you need to memorize which ones are turned off, and then they start swapping places, and then you have to break them with your hands, basically. When you're done, you press the button to tell them, okay, I'm done, and if you're right, he just lets you go to the next round. If not, he slaps you. So what we learned on this game, so there you go again. So I learned some shaders, for example, I don't know if you could tell because the resolution might be a little low, but there's a full screen shader here with a dithering effect that I was learning to make. So that's being applied on this game. Also, him like himself is a shader, so he's a bubble shader too. That's why he has like this very glowy effect and also some real life animations. I wasn't really sure what to call this, but so the hand during the game is actually pictures of Gabriela's arm, and we just split the video in a bunch of frames, and we just animated it in the game. So every time you reach for the bubble, for the not for the bulbs, it looks like it's actually your hand reaching it. So to give it more of a creepy, eerie atmosphere. So the next game is called Eat My Call, and Daniel's gonna present it. I'm just gonna pass to him.
Hi, so we'll be showing the video of the game a little bit. This video is consisted of 3 calls that played our game.
Oh, no. What the fuck is this? Oh, I just saw this.
Yeah.
Oh, what the? Oh, crew found 1 out of 8.
Oh.
I'm assuming, yep, he is going to call us, so we need to find our way back to the telephone as soon as possible.
I'm dead. I'm done for. I'm done. It's it. My demise. Okay, don't move.
Do I just sit in this corner? I'm not sure. Am I safe? I don't know.
Oh, so he's behind me.
I'm a bit lost.
He would be at the Oh, he's up there right in front of me.
Okay, so that was the video. This is a horror game, and I made with Antonio, just I talked before. In this game, we focused on making a diff. No, you can say. Antonio focused on the programming side, I focused on the level design, and actually the sound design. So what I focus in this game, I focus on making the voices. If you notice, then all the sounds that the monster does were made by me with my voice. It was a fun experience. But how does the game work? So basically, you are a detective that are in a murderous house. You are investigating the things he did. So you have to take pictures of evidence. And in the game, they are represented by blood spots or objects that are bloody in different places of the house and outside of the house. You have to take pictures, a total of 8 pictures, 8 evidences. But while trying to gather all the evidence and leave the house, you will receive calls. These calls are from a monster that, like a Simon Says game, he tells you you can't move, you have to run, and you have to follow his orders, or you will kill you. So, this game was made for Game Jam. I'll explain a little bit better. So, in ECC, you don't have to put the games that have to do with the team. So we decided to simply do another game jam and presented the game in ECC. So that's it.
Okay, so just for some final points, what we learned during this project, mainly working with render textures. So like we saw the Go Piss Girl, we also have some render textures to render the entire game, so it looks more retro. So everything looks way more pixelated, like the PSX look. And also the pictures, if you see on the player's hand, there's always a picture after you take a picture, because you need to take pictures to see, right? So when you take one, you actually always take the Polaroid in your hand. So this was also another render texture. And also working on the Monster AI was I have done AI before, but it was like a big experience to make it scary. So that was also interesting.
Another thing that we want to point out is this is the game that we had most views in, and as you saw, a lot of YouTubers actually played it. It was a good experience and a fun way to interact with the people. So. Yeah.
Okay, so our next game is called Broccoli Guy Gets Paralyzed in the Back Rooms. So the Broccoli Guy, I'm going to show you the video first of the game, and then I'll talk about it. So Broccoli Guy was actually the first the meme character that I made. He was actually born on a workshop that I did. So I was going to Finland for a project here in Lusotnes, and we had a workshop on this website called Glitch, where you can make a website and use like 3D models for the web page. So I made him here on the right, this is the original Broccoli guy. It's a bit scary. It was a lot of fun during the workshop. So I decided to make him put him into a game, right? So Gabriella made the broccoli guy model here. Mm, she she birthed him, I guess. So a hero is born, so he's our hero, and then the Balubi is our antagonist. So the theme for the game credit club was actually backrooms. That's why he is like on the floor, in the backrooms floor. If you see the patterns here, and there's ants coming for him, and you have to destroy them with your fire eyes. I would say your fireball eyes. So what I've learned here, so the first time I put the controller, so both eyes are like both joysticks on the controller, so it's very like you can the exact point where your joystick is where the eye is gonna go. So it's super fun to make, and also the VFX graph, which is like kind of shader graph, but for VFX. So all the fire was making VFX graph. So it's an interesting experience. It doesn't really work on web build, so I try to not use VFX graph as much, but it's super useful and super interesting. So for the last thing, Danielle again.
So this game was also for the backrooms. Before showing it, I'll explain it isn't actually a game. It's more of an experience. I learned some stuff I will explain. So we'll show now what it is with the video. So basically, this game I didn't actually make a game. So for this team backrooms also, I decided to experiment with more cinema machine. It's a tool in Unity, and also train my sound design for this experience. It's a simple game, not game experience itself, but that's about it.
Okay, so our final slide. So sorry, it's a little not formatted, but whatever. So what we want to show about the Game Creators Club is that it's all about having fun, learning, and creating art in a stress-free environment. So even if you don't make anything, you can always show up, see what people are making. It's super fun, and if you don't have anything like this in your university, create one. Make it about just find some people in your course and try to make no, make games to them, make experiences to them, make anything. You can make anything in the Creative Club. That's all the best part of it. And it sometimes it's very stressful to make games, and having a small stress-free window to express yourself is always nice. So go make games, and that's fun. Thank you. And if you have any questions, please.
Yes, thank you. Now there are time for questions. Sarah Kadlecayova, first question.
Hello. I would like to know more about the sound design. Like, do you use some free sound effects or do you record everything by yourself? Tell me more about it.
Okay, so these games have a lot of different ways of doing the sound design, but we had a class for in this course about sound design, and the teacher gave us a good number of sounds. So basically, when I'm making sound design, I don't go to record those. I use the ones that I have, but I use Reaper. That is a way to. Reaper is a program that lets you work the sounds and make different things using them. So basically, I also go search for free sounds. So basically, mix and mash the various sounds to create different things. Also using reverb, echo, etc.
Thank you.
Denisa Rafaela.
What was the biggest struggle for you guys you faced while developing these games?
So I could speak for myself here and for a lot of people here in the course. We have a lot of projects from every class, so we have like about 5 to 6 classes per semester, we have like a project in each. So sometimes finding the time to make these projects that we really like is hard. It takes a lot of determination, I would say. But I don't think I find them hard because, like I said, it's stress free, so you have no pressure to make something good. You can just go and learn, and if you fail, that's fine. Uh, yeah, I would say the hardest one was probably the first one I chose with the controllers because having all these controllers working at the same time was a bit of a pain, especially with Unity. It was all the games were made in Unity, and especially with the Unity input system, sometimes it doesn't really cooperate. So that was kind of hard, and this one was actually making a game jam, so it actually was stressful. So yeah.
Michala Volková.
I have a question. I don't know if I'll say it right, but how many of you are programmers and how many of you in the team are uh, art designers?
Uh, so depending on, in this case in GCC, for the game, Mobile Dev, it's one programmer and one artist. For this one is also the same people, one programmer and one artist. For the Hit My Call was also the same thing, two people, but I helped Antonio, the programmer, I'm artist, but I focused more on level design and some design in this case. And this year was more Antonio that did it, so programming. And the last one was only me. I had some help from other people to understand some stuff, but basically I did the experience.
And yeah, you're in Game Creators Club. Everyone makes whatever groups they want. There's been groups of like 10 people. There's been groups of one. So it's all about you just connect two people there that want to make a game and you just present it. So there's no pressure in number of people, anything.
Okay, two more questions. Adam Kaczynski.
Okay, so hi, thank you for the presentation once again. I wanted to ask, no problem. I wanted to ask about perhaps the reading process for the eyes. Was it made in Unity or in an external software?
So the eyes are actually rigged. They are just okay. I'm sorry, here, but they are just literally spheres that I just rotate using the joystick input from the controller. So they're not really rigged. They are just two spheres. I just rotate depending on the joystick.
Okay, thank you. I know it's a weird question. I was just wondering about it.
My last question is that if you, for this creators club, if you get some money that can support your project, so what it is about support of school in case if you have you want or you need some extra money for creating your projects.
Okay, so they really help. So a lot of the projects that I made in class, I use Game Creators Club to try, for example, shaders. Like, so I'm a programmer, so art is my main priority. So shaders are very helpful to be able to make art and then express myself. And I use Game Creators Club to learn a lot of shaders. I use it to learn a lot of VFX. After learning a lot of different systems that I can use in my games, a lot of things that I've done in Game Creators Club or games in general, I've ended up taking with me to my main projects in classes, and it really helps the process and makes it way faster, and you just get much more knowledgeable about everything. So.
Okay, okay, thank you. So thank you for your presentation. I think that we had all the presentations from Sorbona University. If you can switch your cameras, yes, exactly, and Felipe is here still. Felipe is not here. Yes, I see him, but I don't hear him. So maybe some closing remarks about our meeting. So if he's not here, so I'll. Oh, yes, Felipe. So some last words from your point of view, and then I will finish our day too.
Sorry, I was with difficulties hearing the sound properly. So I was expecting one more talk, but yes, I can say. Sorry.
Do you have a
Uh,
next project more?
oh no.
I see. Yes. Okay, so continue, please. Oh,
Sorry, I'm not understanding. I cannot hear properly. It's not with
no,
me.
no. Please finish your session or your students' projects and some closing remarks.
Okay, but should I say something about the presentations also from this morning that I enjoyed a lot?
Whatever.
Or, okay, so uh, first of all, thank you very much for having us, and thank you very much for all the students involved here. I put here just some marks because it was just amazing and inspiring talks. For instance, William with the project mapping, I will kindly send later contact of a company, Google, which is a Portuguese company that is working international in video mapping and project mapping. So it would be interesting contact for him. Also, for the procedural content generation from Samuel, it was really cool, and I recommend him to see some academic conference on games and Foundation Digital on games that has track sections in PCG, which could be interesting for him. I love the Rain, very cinematic game and animation that was used by Adam, which was really that I am ingrained of Christian Mass, which was really cool. Also, Mike Michael made some really cool presentation with the mocap and among other things. And I totally agree with him. I have some experience in mocap, and the video references of the mocap sessions are so important. The pipeline was really cool. Also, from Bratislav, very nice presentation from several concept artists. I'm a super fan of Belen Cole. The make paintings he has and other concepts are just amazing. Thank you about that also. The emotion in video games was really cool. I have a PhD student working on horror games, so probably could be very interesting from the Michaela presentation also. And at the end of the morning session, should I, sorry if I'm misspelling the names, but it shows a very nice AI integration with 3D modeling, VFX, etc. So it was a very productive morning. I enjoyed a lot. I have so many ideas now here in my mind. And on the evening session, I think you had fun. I had a lot of laughs on the presentations. The game around the world was so interesting. And by the way, the music of Daft Punk is totally suitable. I don't know if you know the music video from the Daft Punk around the world. Please see it because it's really cool. After Bonita was really cool presentation. Um, and yeah, the feedback our students give to our students were really great. For instance, the feedback on audio to be very interesting. Also, which was very curious, the reference from David Cronenberg Existence, because that is a fantastic film. I repeat the words. I think it was Ferko that mentioned that is an amazing game about what is real, what isn't real. Please check that film, not a amazing game, an amazing film. To finish, yes, despite time, was another plain and canny game with alternative control games, something that we try to develop a lot within the some universities and now with our Erasmus Mundus students. And yeah, and and after those of the students, there was after a drunk girl in Bonita, we had some girl that was very stressed to be in the toilet. Don't take us wrong, but yeah, in Lusatna we love the challenging games, funny games, the playful size of the games, which is really cool. So to resume, I will just say one thing to everyone. A few weeks ago, I was in Eindhoven to see a festival of animation and games, and Pete Williamson presented that game that. Oh gosh, I forgot now the name of the game.
Thank goodness you're here.
Thank goodness you're here. Thank you very much. There's a free game from the same company that you can download on the Steam. And that's thank goodness we were here. She only uses thank you a lot, Maya, for that. She used just Photoshop. She made the animations in Photoshop. It's just quite strange. Why not use Boom? Why not use more advanced softwares? So the lesson is like here we saw several projects with Unreal, with Unity, with Houdini, with Maya, with Blender, whatever. So wherever is the tool, the most important thing is to use your own vision, your artistic vision, and try to use your pipeline, polish your pipeline, and do amazing games, amazing VFX, films, and animation. So, yeah, it was an incredible day. Thank you once again, Professor Lavik, for having us here, and thank you a lot for all of the students to share this knowledge. And yeah, in the near future, if you want to know a little bit more, I could share the HIO games from our side, the GHEC, the Games Creators Club, the event if you want to participate remotely on that. So yeah, please free to contact us. Thank you very much. Sorry for taking so long.
Thank you very much, Felipe. I appreciate all these presentations, and I think that it was very inspiring on both sides because we understand that the game is not necessary just in a computer, that we can find ideas also outside of our computers. So it was mainly this project from Replay, Lusofona University. We catched your political themes. I appreciate very, very much. And I admire that you have students of programming that we don't have. So my future ideas is maybe also about cooperation, international cooperation that from your side could be students of programming that we missed very much, and from our students will be designers or these very talented students from the side of design. Yes, so I think that all presentations was very good. What I want to stress more that you are much more in contact in a global international area. I admire this student from Filipina. Yes, also student, I don't know, from Uzbekistan, this one name as I catched, Aghababa Bagdito. So he's from which country? Okay, so it's not ready there. So from side of presentation of our students, I think that it will stop. I'm very proud of the results of our students. I hope we will cooperate our conference also students from Munich, from Germany. Also, I tried to connect Belgian students. I asked also students from Austria. And for tomorrow, I want to invite you, your students, for next inspiration, because we will have professionals that will describe there the most important ideas. The first speaker will be Martin Petrasek from Czech Republic. The second will be Pauline Leininger from Germany. I met her in China on conference, and she had absolutely top presentation about artificial intelligence and 3D visualizations. Then I want to invite you on speech of Ryan Lely. He is from Great Britain, and Oliver Rotter, that he is from Austria. And their common project is a school named CG Spectrum College of Digital Arts and Animation. And the school is special in this that they have students from Australia, from Canada, from America, from Britain, all over the world. So it's really a very important and very international school. Later there will be your PhD student Ivan Barroso, yes, with the theme of the development of the vintage Game Boy console game. And in the end, there will be amazing speaker from Poland, Alexander Kał, technical director from 11-bit studios in Warsaw. Okay? So it is a great studio and a great in television and also programmer too. So I will invite you for tomorrow, and for this day I want to